I don't have to announce Mercy PAKELA in the building. You announced yourself, looking amazing, and you still have the moves.
Thank you. You know, it's instilled in me.
So what comes to mind when you listen to that song, when you go back so many years ago?
Oh, wow. It says to me, wow. You know, your contribution in the music industry is so humongous.
It certainly is. Well, thanks so much for coming on to Newsroom Africa. And I want to start off by getting your reaction to the appointment of the new Minister of Art, Sports and Culture, Sports, Art and Culture, Gayton Mckenzie. And obviously there's been mixed views on publication of a list of those in the industry who benefited during COVID. What's your reaction?
Oh, well, first and foremost, it is his democratic right, you know, to point out whatever he feels it does not make sense to him. You know, if he is taking that position, and he definitely has to fix the wrongs. You know, so, I mean, I listened to him on YouTube. He was talking about the fans, the soccer fans, you know, who are being funded to go to big events, and they accommodated as well. Meanwhile, I looked at it and I said, you know what? He is okay. He's right by, you know, pointing out those issues, because there are great soccer players like Abo Bashin Matlangu. You know, by the way, he was named after my song, Ayachisamatik. You know, who could be positioned to travel all around, you know, to support soccer, and the soccer industry should also support them, you know, because where do they earn from? They are not earning from anywhere, instead of taking those funds and give to fans.
He made a fair point, right, that there's a huge amount of resource that is being spent on these individuals, a couple, but it's multiple millions that are going to support various teams in stadiums across the world. But in the same breath, right? Let's come back to the publication of that list and how some artists have expressed vulnerability, because he pointed out, he might have said, Mercy PAKELA received 10,000 rand during COVID-19, right? It exposes you, right? Were you a recipient? Were you one of those recipients? Was there a better way of doing it? Was it a case of, okay, I have this list, let us analyze the list, and for the ones that look dodgy or suspect, let us then publish those names?
Oh, well, I did benefit from COVID once, you know, but there are people who benefited timelessly, you know, and we've heard of those things. If he has to monitor and investigate corruption within the Department of Arts and Culture, he has to do that.
So support was a good thing, and you say, as you said, are one of those benefactors. How important was the support that you received? Obviously, you suggest that it was abused to some degree, because there are people that received more than others or received multiple payments. But for you, how important was it to get some support from the department?
It was very important. It was worth it. It was worth it at the time it happened, you know. But what happens thereafter? What happens thereafter? Because, I mean, the COVID crippled the creative arts fraternity as a whole, because we work by audience. You know, we need audience in order for us to perform, in order for us to earn, in order for us, for our business to be in operation.
So what are your thoughts on funding for artists in the future? I mean, there are obviously lessons that have been learned from this, and mistakes have been made, or funds have been abused. Moving forward, what sort of policies do you think the new minister should put in place to ensure that those that are deserving receive the support they get and benefit?
First and foremost, I think the minister has to redress the injustices of the past. And when I say that, I refer to messages and policies that were drafted by ministers in 1994. The minister Ngubeni and Mamun M.S. Mabandla, you know, and those policies and also the Bill of Rights, you know, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Constitution state. You know, it states very fairly that everyone has a right to freedom of expression, and everyone has a right to freedom of artistic creativity. It is drafted in paragraph 16 the Constitution of country, and each and everyone has a right to use the language and of participation and into cultural life as their choice. It's on paragraph 30 in the Constitution. And it is the role of government to facilitate the preliminary.
So how important is it for artists such as yourselves to come together, to be able to engage the new minister in order to have rights protected, such as the issues that were discussed in the Bill of Rights, which aims to protect creators of copyright works? It has been abused. There has been some disagreement around it. So are you looking to engage Gayton Mckenzie as a grouping of artists to obviously share your experiences and talk about your expectations as artists?
Of course. I mean, fortunately, I'm a chairperson of CIFSA Women's Wing. CIFSA, it's a Creative Cultural Industry Federation in South Africa. You know, so as the chairperson of women, I'm definitely going to engage them, you know, with some other women. And my belief is that we need to decolonize copyright, because copyright has been set by British in 1710, you know, and it's always been, it's cut and paste, you know, it's not redressed. Needs to be redressed.
So Bill of Rights or copyright issues is one of the issues that you'd like to discuss. What else are you likely to table before the minister? Is it just issues that impact the women that you represent, or are you looking at artists en masse?
Creative cultural industry as a whole. Creative cultural industry as a whole. You know, it's owned by foreign people. I mean, if you look at these online things, the Googles and all of them, who owns them? Who owns the intellectual property of those Google things?
So, but
who owns the rights?
But a lot of it is based on who comes up with the idea. So if South Africans don't come up with the ideas, then they're not going to own it. So
but the problem is here, but they still take the content from Africa and utilize it without giving giving remuneration for our creativity.
So what are you currently getting in terms of remuneration, and what would you want to get?
It should be discussed by creative arts industry as a whole. I cannot take decisions for the people.
No, I'm not suggesting you take a decision, but you obviously have an idea. I mean, at the moment you're saying it's unfair. Why is it unfair? Is it because you're getting 20%? Is it because you're getting 30%? Do you think it should be split down the middle?
Yeah, no, you cannot dictate or determine terms of business for me. We're supposed to be discussing business. You know, and I mean, these internationally owned businesses or these internationally owned online things, they tend to dictate terms. You know, you cannot come and invest in me, in my career, or in my content and decide what business terms for me. You have to come and discuss business terms for me. You know, and of which, I mean, they don't even go to the people on the grassroots level and discuss these issues.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that's where we're going to leave the conversation. Musician Mercy Pakela, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming onto Newsfeed PM.